Hello out there, YouTube. This is Charlie Brawley back at you with another video. This video, I'm going to be talking about how to actually win against the rigged, yes, I said it, the rigged airball machine. How to actually get around it and actually overcome it. Because there's a way to do it. You got to always remember that there's only one ball. Can't get everybody. But I'm going to talk to you guys real briefly about how I believe it's rigged, and if I was a programmer, which I've had some experience in programming, coding and stuff. Obviously, you know me as an algorithmist and an analytics type person. So you have to have that sort of a mentality to be able to code anyway, or to be able to program. So in developing algorithms and different things like I'm doing with the roulette game, because as I tell you guys, it affords you the least risk in terms of making money. What kills everyone is patience. Okay, it killed me. Listen, I get it. I totally get it. I totally get it. And everybody in my mentor class, there are people who are getting it, but not everybody catches on as really as quick. And when I say catch on, I mean to the simplest thing. Everyone knows there is this one thing you have to do to completely annihilate it. But it's so simple and it's so counter against how we think that you won't even think to do it. And as a matter of fact, you probably won't do it. And it's not that you can't, it's so simple to do it. But it's so against how we've been programmed. We've been programmed to work. We've been programmed to be patient for the very wrong things. And Jesus, I mean, it's so crazy. And the thing of it is that, and I'm about to talk about the airball machine, but I get really excited about what I'm doing because I have just finished, and well, at least I'm almost done with the conclusion of a 20,000 spin test for team play with the mentor program, because everyone doesn't get it on the same level. And that's one of the things I do know is that not everyone gets it on the same level. You'll have people, like the people who I interview, they get it. I mean, they'll get it quicker than others. Some folks, it takes a little more time. And it's not that it's difficult. It's not that it's difficult at all. It just takes practice. You have to be comfortable seeing it in this way. And when you become that, every person who when it pops on, it just pops on. But here is the thing, guys, is that I'm still developing. Well, actually, I just concluded the test of 20,000 spins team play, and it's absolutely astonishing what this is going to do. So for those who have, even in the mentor program, I'm going to develop team play where you can play along with others and have a little bit more security. And because I believe it doesn't mean your people are just slow or anything. We just see things differently. And that's one thing about it, is that unless you see it exactly the way you should see it, you probably will miss it. Because the game it's the slick part of the game is that it moves really quick. Which brings me to the airball machine. So I will say this, that team play is coming soon. So if you're interested in the mentor program, it's a no lose situation. I'm gonna tell you, you're not gonna lose. I mean, you could lose it yourself. I'll put it that way. But strategy wise, you're not gonna lose. The team play. So as long as you're dedicated and devoted to when I do these sessions, you're not gonna lose. But anyway, to move forward, I want to talk to you guys about this airball machine thing, because I was in Vegas. I'm in Vegas quite a bit, and but I was in Vegas just a week or so ago, and I happened to notice some anomalies. I had a couple emails from people who had talked about whether I thought the airball machine was rigged. One of the reasons I created permutations was because of the ideology of the whole thing is rigged. For me to assume that this whole casino environment is legit, it's all rigged. Okay, so you have to go into the game thinking that way. So when you assume that it's all rigged, the question now becomes, how then is it rigged? Because there's no way If someone, and I don't think I'm the smartest person in the world, if I can create algorithms that can stretch over periods of time that makes me a consistent winner, and the only thing I really have to do is just be patient, um, they know that. The thing of it is that they know that most people don't live off of that type of thinking, and they don't have people around them or constant type of knowledge in that area, or even a strategy that would allow them to have that type of long-term consistency. So they don't change anything. But for those who are out here, you don't really know what you're doing. If you don't have a consistent long-term strategy, you really are gambling. And this is the wrong thing to do, is play it on the airball machine, because one of the things I noticed in Vegas was how the ball landed, how it bounced around. It would bounce certain times, and certain times it would get like amazingly still and trapped toward the back part of the entraption where the ball lands. It will just get like so still, like it will just land there and just don't move. So I figured that, okay, well, I figured it was rigged, but I wanted to test the rigging of it, okay? Because I normally, and I've always said in other videos, when you play, rule number one, always play with other people, because of the assumption that it's rigged. And in a moment, I'm going to talk to you all about the inner workings of the rigging, why I think, or how I think they're rigging it. So one of the things that I noticed was, when you don't play with other people, how they say it seems like the game is chasing me. Well, it is. And so you always want to play with other people. But here is why the game chases you. All right, now you can't really see the wheel, but if you know anything about the roulette wheel, we've all, I think, come to the conclusion there's some type of magnets, right? Well, obviously there is an electronic something going on for the wheel to give an electronic feed sent to and from the wheel from these machines to a data board that then tells you the number, okay? So we're talking pure electronics at this point. So there is zero thoughts toward the idea that it could possibly be magnets. Of course it's magnets. There's electricity happening. So there's some type of magnetic force going on somewhere. Now, to what extent is it going? So when I really thought about how the game could chase you or play against wherever you're playing, one of the things I did, I had about $700. I wanted to give it a really good test, because throwing $20 out there wouldn't give it a good test. If I won, great. If I lost, it was okay, because it's only a test. I will make the money back. I'm okay. I never chase losses. It's one of the things I always teach. Never. When you truly understand the game, it's not about chasing anything. Okay? You never chase. You don't chase anything in life. Just live, just flow. Just know that everything comes when you want it and when you need it. But listen, guys, on the airball machine, so this contraption, what I'm thinking is happening is that when you put your numbers here, it sends a feed to the computer, which is located inside of here. There's generally some type of scoreboard, obviously. So when that feed happens, when the wheel is spinning, there are electrodes or some type of magnetic electrons or electrodes or whatever you call it that like ignites, like pulsating, okay? And when the wheel slows down, this pulsating is what allows the magnetic ball to actually flow more toward the area of the pulsating magnet, okay? Now, the jumping out part, or where it seems like it's jumping out, it's called, I guess you can call it anti-magnet. You ever seen like when you have two anti things collide, they kind of separate? There is no springboard. I think it's just a higher dose of or some type of magnetism that's happening. This glass is really thick because of it, but there's some type of, I would assume there's some type of magnetism happening that creates that spark that creates the jump. But from a perspective of it landing, when the wheel is moving at a slower rate, the eyeball test, if you're not studying, if you're just kind of just not really paying attention, it looks as if the ball is just kind of going based upon. I think the illusion is the wheel itself. It seems like it's moving in the right, but really it appears that way because it's moving. But the truth is that it's moving toward what I think is the pulsating magnet. Because otherwise, I think this game it would have been gone a long time ago if they were really legit about it. So nonetheless, that is what I think is happening. So how can you get around playing that? Number one, always play with others. Here is why. When you have multiple bets on the table, what I think the calculation on the computer is actually calculating the weighted risk on every part of the board. So if it's more risk to allow the ball to land on one, then the magnets will shoot out against everything outside of one. Now, I don't know if this is the truth, but if I am a programmer and I'm trying to program this in a way where it makes logical sense, then that's what I'm going to do, because you still have to pay the people out, so you don't want to. It has to be deliberately, it has to be in certain spaces, and every space, the 0, 1, 2, 3, all the way through 36, they all have some type of pulsating magnets that shoots toward it. The illusion is the spinning wheel. Okay, so the weighted parts of the game, wherever the most concentrated is, it may or it may not pay out based upon where it is currently on the financial cycle in the casino. All right. So it will magnetize in other areas where there's no concentration, which is why I always used to teach about playing on the outside, because you give it more, because of playing on the outside, the way that the numbers and the colors are spread out the wheel, and the fact that the wheel is in motion, and the fact that there are other players playing, is going to give you a better chance of hitting it, in considering that the fact that it might just be this rigged. All right. So when you're playing with others, consider playing on the outside. Now, here's one of the things I think about when I'm talking about this. I play on the outside generally when there's less people. If there's more people playing, I'll play on the inside on the numbers. Okay. Because you're going to have most people playing on the inside rather than the outside. All right. So if there's less people playing, now always play when there's people there. But if it's less people, you'll probably be better playing on the outside. If it's more people, you're probably going to hit harder playing on the inside when there's more people. Okay. Particularly at a table, because I don't think the table is too much different than this either. Okay. There's a reason why, this thing weighs 1,000,000 tons. Okay. They didn't just do that for nothing. All right. So the last thing I'm going to tell you is the strategy you need to take. I don't know how you guys are individually playing. And as I said earlier, not everyone is going to get a strategy or be able to have the patience or whatever. Patience is really what's needed. But not everyone's going to have that. And like a poker, the rich people in our world, poker players, the people who make the most money have the most patience. I swear to God. That was something that I personally had to learn. I could strategize all day long, but did I have enough patience to sit and study? That was my problem. Because I could come up with something, but I needed to validate it. And that's the reason why I always tell students, don't get so caught up in trying to make money so quick. Get more caught up in trying to convince yourself of the system, of the game. Because when you get the game, the money comes. You need to understand the game. All right. So in understanding how this game may be rigged against you, it brings me back to strategy. What am I talking about? Permutations, particularly on the outside. Spacing out your bets. Don't play consistently. Okay. Don't be consistent. Always play with others, but space your stuff out. Always play on a permutative, I don't even know if that's a word, a permutation-ish type of momentum, okay? Because that's going to allow somewhat of an offset or a lack of consistency on this one area here. All right. Even though I think it's weighted, it doesn't really matter where it's coming from. I think this is all weighted. But I also think that the game can also pinpoint who it wants to go after. So it could just chase you. And in the process of chasing you, it could be also knocking out other people. Literally. The game could literally say, okay, we're going to knock this guy out. He's been here for an hour. We're just going to only ignite electrodes around the areas where he's not at. And if these other people are playing, they may or may not win, but we're going to get him. That's the reason why you listen. Assume this is rigged. All right? But everyone who's going to be playing with you and around you will not be thinking this way. This is the reason why this is called advantage play. Okay? It's the reason why people buy strategies and listen and watch these videos. And I have testimony after testimony after testimony. And I'll tell you something about negativity. You'll have more people writing negative comments than I actually have more positive in my email. But you'll see more written than you'll see the positive. It's really, when people, one of the things I even learned about this program is that when people are doing well, you don't really hear from them. I mean, occasionally. If people are having a really, really bad time, you'll hear from them. But good news generally doesn't spread as quick as bad. You know what I mean? So that's just the deal, folks, is that this game, man, it's really, it has changed my life. And I never thought that I would look at how money and time is a marriage and how it could be played out even in an environment like this where that it's potentially rigged. But the thing what you have to understand is that you can't be there all day. You can't be consistently sitting there playing. You've got to space out your bets. You got to think more on the outside when there's less people. Play outside when there's more people, but if you do play on the inside, always play when there's more people. What I'm saying is I don't know if there are electrons or if I haven't pulled this thing apart. But if I am developing this and I want to ensure that I win, there is going to be a marriage between the data that is coming here and what's shooting out here. That only makes sense. It just only makes sense. There's a reason why this game is a consistent winner. There's people that win, but the game overall wins. So the only objective for us is to be on the part of the winning side. So there's things you're going to have to do. Play with others, space your bets, permutations, use some type of permutation system. Okay? Just throwing money on numbers and hoping they hit is not the answer. Just putting money on the outside bets and hoping, that's not the answer. You need to get seriously. And I'm not just saying that because I'm trying to sell this stuff. The bundle package, if you study that stuff, it gives you so many different ways to look at the game. The only thing you now have to do is just space your bets, play slower. Okay? And then play with when there's others. All right. So think on it like that. If you're trying to be your own student, if you want the mentor program, that's cool too. I'm certainly looking for more people, but I'm really here to tell you, number one, assume this is rigged. Two, how it's rigged. Like I said, I think it's some type of magnets going on and it's shooting the data here to here. It can chase whomever it wants, wherever you're stacked up at. It can go counter against it based upon the shooting magnets. The wheel itself moving around appears to be an illusion. It looks like that's happening, but the truth is it's moving toward the magnet. It just has to move around and around to give you the illusion that it's legit. It's not legit, and it pisses me off that they're not legit. That's the reason why I'm so adamant about people winning. And when even some of my students, like when I don't hear from them, I feel a certain kind of way. I really want people to win because this is insane at the robbery to me that I think that they're getting away with. But you can overcome it. The thing is that we're overcoming it. And technically, we don't necessarily need everybody to get it, but we're overcoming it. You can't win because they have to. The thing is, people, you got to understand this. The casino has to pay out. Otherwise, it's not a game. Okay, no one goes to a game that you're always losing. You go to the football game, they've been losing straight for the last 10 years. No one goes to those games. Not for long anyway. So the thing is, the casino has to pay out. The question is, are you on the side of the payout? The key to being on the side of the payout is having strategies, playing with others, spacing your bets. Think about what you're doing. Or join the mentor program, the team play thing that I'm about to do. That's insane. Or if you don't want to do that, just study. Study, get the bundle package or get a couple of them and just study the heck out of it. Don't study it from a perspective of how much money am I making. Study it from a perspective of how is the game behaving according to this strategy? And how long does it behave that way? How long and how consistent is it? That should be the way you should approach this. And I'm telling you, if you do and you start thinking that way, you're going to call me just the same way Mike did, the same way Whitney and the others did, and they're going to say, man, I got it. Okay? So anyway, guys, I didn't want to be too long here. Thank you so much for your time. I hope everyone's having a great year. Again, if you want to reach me for anything, Permutations Pro, I'm still updating the website. I'm actually about to re-update the site, so it's really, really outdated. I've been doing a lot of studying lately, so I haven't had a chance to really get a lot of stuff done. And plus, I've been working with others in the mentor program. So when I do that, I really don't have a whole lot of time to myself. So I got to get back to that. But you can go there, look at the strategy. You can still get the bundles there. 13, I think it's called 3313 is a strategy that is the exact same as third shift. Okay, so if you're interested in that, third shift is really what you want. I took third shift down because I thought it was too good. Okay, but I still make it available. It's available for 150. So if you want that, you can still get that. 3313 is the exact same thing as that. Permutations pro@gmail.com. You can send me an email for anything else that you have requests on or anything like that. I have more videos coming soon. I have a really cool video talking about the psychology of roulette, the mentality that you have to really be a professional. It's the same mentality that you have to be a professional at anything. But in this environment, it's so counter against your real life. And so we behave that way. So I'm going to talk about the psychology of the game, the concept of time and money, because I think people really, when you really get what I'm telling you, like I'm really shocked that I don't have more students, and it's not because of greed. It's because these videos that I've been putting out and I'm talking about the market and how time and money from a perspective of risk, when you get that, when you really get it, folks, I'm telling you, you can start a business, you can start anything for money, and your risk and time is going to be through the roof compared to what I'm going to show you. The biggest problem that most people have in this game has nothing to do with risk. It has to do with discipline. I'm so serious. It has everything to do with that. And I don't blame people. It's just but I get it. We're not used to this environment. I had to go through it. Trust me, I did. My going through it was me sitting down and studying it. That was my growth part, because it took to sit there and study just numbers and data on a game that's so meaningless to me from a perspective of life, not from perspective of money. Now that's different, but just life itself. I'm a creative person, so it just made no sense. But when I saw what the gold that's hidden inside of here, it made me study, because I know how business and money and math and time works. You know, you can be rich. You can be very rich in this world and still not have a life. You know, this game kind of frees you from that. But you have to have patience. And I know we live in a microwave society that teaches us against having that. But the more you have it, and I generally put this in emails when people write me and ask me about certain things, I always tell them the more you have, the better it's going to be. All right, guys, till the next time, folks. I think that sound means it's the end of my time. Take care of yourself and each other. If you have any questions, give me a call or shoot me an email. You can give me a call from the number at the 800 number on permutationspro at permutationspro.com, or you can shoot me an email, permutationspro@gmail.com. Till the next time, folks, take